Yo guys, what's going on? This is Keegan from Kman Reviews. If you enjoyed this review, make sure you hit that like and subscribe button, and if you have any opinions at all you'd like to share, put them down in the comment section. Rina Sawayama. Rina Sawayama, British via Japanese singer and songwriter. She's been the most recent target of critical acclaim and success with her visionary view of diva pop and dance music. Yet, unfortunately, she has not yet broken into the mainstream, and thusly, I haven't been able to check her out until this fantastic viewer suggestion. Again, thank you so much for that. I have not seen a single negative or even average review for this album. It's all been very positive, so yeah, I had very high hopes going into this. I expected quite the storm, and I expected it to completely knock me off my feet. So did it? Let's find out as I review this album track by track. We'll start off with the singles, with there actually being 5 of them. The first one being STFU, which immediately reminds me of something off Poppy's last album, I Disagree, with its very heavy metal riffs, and Rina having that slight bit of insanity in her delivery, even going as far as her laughing almost maniacally. It's pretty engaging. When that chorus comes in, it turns into this shimmering, passive-aggressive Poppy passage. Rina herself said she wanted to shock people after being away for so long after releasing her EP, Rina, and I think she did that tenfold on this track. It definitely shocked me. Lyrically, I mean, shut the fuck up. It's not that hard to understand. Such an awesome song, so much energy and power, I love it. The second single, Comme des Garcons parentheses Like the Boys, has this absolutely incredible bass line that's just irresistible. Rina's voice is just perfect for this instrumental. It's tough, groovy, and just a fun time overall. Although this is where lyrically the album really starts to delve into a bit more socially conscious content. Basically about how women kind of have to adopt these negative masculine tropes to seem cool or confident or like the boys, as the title would suggest. Otherwise they get called bitches, yet in the same regard, being a bitch can also be seen as confidence, especially in a club setting. Rina also said she wanted to combine the two topics into one club banger, and yeah, I think she did that flawlessly. Awesome song. The third single, X's, I have honestly had on repeat for the past week. I can't get enough of the song. Where do I even start with this? Well, let's start with this instrumental, which features this very beautiful synth work and that acoustic guitar lick as well. Not to mention the shocking yet very fitting heavy metal riffs that perfectly transition between different sections of this song. Rina herself sounds great, much like some 2000s pop princess a la Britney Spears. Lyrically, the title is meant to mean excess, living excessively, and the track is all about lavish lifestyles and even mocking capitalism. This honestly may just go down as one of my favorite songs of the entire year. It is so fun. The fourth single, Chosen Family, hits a little bit closer than I originally expected. This is the ballad of the album, and it's absolutely gorgeous with its poppy synth, along with the almost acoustic sounding percussion. Rina sings with so much passion on this track. You can easily tell this comes from a very deep part of her soul. Though lyrically, this track gets me as well. How it doesn't matter how different we may be, you are my chosen family. Growing up an only child and not having a sibling, at least for me, was a bit tough. But I've got some friends that I would actually consider my own actual family, and that hits really close. I'm thankful this song exists. It makes me happy every single time I hear it. And the fifth and final single, Bad Friend, is probably the only okay song on this album. It just kind of sounds a bit lackluster. The instrumental feels very modern, pop, EDM almost. And also that first chorus without any instrumental at all is kind of weird. It feels very off, and her vocals with the sort of pitched effect almost sound like something Zed would have done. Her voice otherwise is good and the following choruses are fine, but the track as a whole feels very normal. Not bad at all, just kinda okay. Lyrically, it's about how a friendship can go sour, admitting you're a bad friend. Still good, though easily my least favorite of the singles. Now for the rest of the tracks. The opener, Dynasty, opens up very grandiose and majestic, with Rina's very soft, elegant delivery just kind of gliding across this powerful instrumental. Speaking of instrumental, it morphs into this hard rocker, and Rina gains that same power in her voice she originally had on STFU, and it's such an entrancing, engaging listen, really reminding me of some Evanescence. Lyrically, it's about how her family is so selfish. She wants some of the glory to herself, like inheritance and name. Much like how an actual dynasty works. Awesome opener, certainly worth checking out. Akasaka Sad is yet another track I've had on repeat for quite a while. The grand opening number completely collapses into this deep, bassy, and tough jam of an instrumental. Rina's vocals are all over the place, but the main thing I pick up is this kind of bossiness that really resonates with this beat, and it is undeniably catchy. Not to mention the moment on this album where Rina speaks in her native tongue, which is awesome to hear. Lyrically, it's actually about feeling displaced in a country you're not familiar with, in her case Tokyo, and how her parents probably felt the same way moving into London. This is a fun song, I enjoy it. Paradisin is such an interesting cut, especially instrumentally, where it embodies the style of some sort of anime theme song or bit crush Japanese arcade video game style. This track has a very upbeat, positive, and happy feeling as Rina sings in this very carefree manner, almost like I'm hearing some cartoon I would have watched back in the day. It's almost weirdly nostalgic. And lyrically, it matches that tone, simply about living the best life you could live, having an unforgettable time of your life. And not to mention a good groove behind it, great song. Love Me For Me is just another song that I adore. This girl group reminiscent instrumental at the beginning with the claps and elegant chimes that remind me of one of the slower cuts from Bruno Mars's 24 Karat Magic. Then everything kicks in with this 2000s pop diva beat with a nice gritty guitar riff and hip-hop influenced percussion. It's such an irresistible groove, I love it. Lyrically, it's about trying to find that love for yourself, and if you can't love yourself, how could you even think of loving someone else? Not to mention a nice solo right before the final chorus. This is a good song. Fuck This World parentheses interlude is exactly what it is. It's an interlude. To be fair, it's almost 3 minutes long, so it feels like it's one whole track, but much more like an interlude as well. There isn't too much to talk about here. The instrumental is very moody, gets very popular later on, and Rina's vocals are rather relaxing as she sings about fuck this world. It's certainly not the best, but not something to leave in the dust either. Who's Gonna Save You Now opens up with this live crowd cheering her name, along with the overall track having this very echoed feeling, almost like I'm actually hearing a live version of it. Which kinda sucks because I wouldn't have minded to hear a proper studio version. Aside from that, the instrumental is a nice synth, almost stadium rock style, and Rina's vocals are pretty loud in comparison to the instrumental. And lyrically, this track is about not being able to change people in your life and wondering who's gonna save them now. This one's another one that's okay, but also certainly not worth a skip. Tokyo Love Hotel is this very shimmering, soothing, and relaxing pop song. No sudden shift in genres, no funky bass. It's pretty simple when you look at the composition, but it's very effective. A lot of it has to do with Rina's vocals and how well they blend in with this instrumental. They're pretty delicate and almost remind me of Ariana Grande's to an extent. Lyrically, it's referencing a Tokyo Love Hotel, which are actually real things where people have casual sex in them and leave. Flattering. Anyway, this is still a nice song. And finally, the closer, Snakeskin, is the exact opposite of what I expected from a closer. The beginning is very promising with Rina's almost choir-esque vocals soaring wonderfully, but then the percussion picks up and makes this track way more of a jam than it honestly needs to be, especially when that breakdown hits. And yet the final minute is just a calm yet quite melancholic piano closing off the album. Lyrically, the track is about shedding the flaws like a snake's skin and accepting you as your own person. It's very motivational and a hauntingly gorgeous track to boot. Awesome song. Overall, there is not a single track on this album, in my opinion, that warrants a skip. Every single song on here is unique, fun, bouncy, all in their own special way, and I fully adore that. Not gonna lie, this may easily go down as one of my personal favorite albums of this year, and I will continue to follow Rina Sawayama through the coming years. I'm feeling a very, very strong 9 out of 10 on this album. Well guys, hope you enjoyed that review. Thank you all so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Peace.